Xabi Alonso has just been sacked as the Real Madrid manager, and without wasting any time at all. No time at all. Real Madrid have actually gotten a new head coach, and it is Álvaro Arbeloa. Now he's a former player, and he has been managing their B team, that's Real Madrid Castilla, for a while. So he must have been on the radar as well. But I think this was a really, really, really crazy decision. Now there have been rumors about Xabi Alonso possibly losing his job. So if for it to finally happen at this time, you have to say it was coming, but I do think it was a really, really, really harsh decision in my opinion, because Real Madrid have actually not even been that bad in general. But I think the problem is Real Madrid have really high standards. For them, that might not be a problem, but for me, the way I look at it as someone who's trying to be fair, I think it's a really harsh decision because he has actually not done badly this season. So this all happened quickly after Barcelona beat them 3-2 in the Spanish Super Cup final. I love Barcelona a lot. This is a sign of it. I love Barcelona so much. So that game was perfect for me. I really loved watching it, and I was happy to see us win again. And honestly, at this point, I think Real Madrid we own them. But if you're a Real Madrid fan and you've seen your team lose 5 times in the last 6 matches to Barcelona, this is really unacceptable. And it's one of the reasons, to me, that Carlo Ancelotti had to leave last season. There was no signs of real good football that was being played, and ultimately that's why they brought in Xabi Alonso. But Xabi Alonso has really not been that bad in my opinion, and I think this was really, really rash, because the fact that they've sacked him now means that they must have been talking to Arbeloa for quite a while, and maybe this was the final straw. They were like, you know what, Xabi, if you do not win this title, you're gone. So for me, I think it's harsh. I think when you look at his record in La Liga, like, he's actually not been bad. They've literally won about more than half of their games. So altogether, I'm looking at it like, why has he just been sacked so quickly? They're second. They're 4 points behind Barcelona after playing 19 matches. They've won 14 of 19. So that means they've won well over half of their games. 14 games. They've drawn 3 and they've lost 2. That's harsh. That's extremely harsh in my opinion. They have 45 points. 45 points from 19 games. That to me is a decent record in my opinion. But yeah, Barcelona are 4 points ahead. So I think that's a problem for them. Now in the Champions League, they're currently 7th out of the 36 teams or 32 teams, 36 teams in the Champions League. Yes, they've won 4, they've lost 2. And for Real Madrid, which Champions League is their bread and butter. 15 titles, nobody's even close. I don't think nobody even has more than 7 titles. So Champions League is their competition. So for me, I think they've not done too well in the Champions League, looking at how they've started, winning 4 and losing 2 out of 6. But they're 7th, and they're just 1 point off PSG, who are 3rd. And you know that for you to get to the next round, top 8 gets automatic qualification. So they're still in pole position to do that because they're currently in the top 8. So I think it was a really, really harsh decision in my opinion. Like, I just think maybe there must have been something else, because I noticed yesterday, I saw some videos doing the rounds on Twitter. I saw how, Alonso wanted the players to give a guard of honor to Barcelona or something like that. Please don't quote me on that. But I could see that he was trying to gesture to the players to come, and Mbappe was not having any of it. Mbappe was like, no, and then the players all left. So clearly you can see that there's probably a lack of respect for the manager as well. Maybe he looks weak. Maybe he's not as firm and strong, and he's not looking like he's that firm manager, in my opinion, based on things like that. Because if the players are really disputing the things that they're saying or instructions, then you can see that there's a problem. Now, we've also seen the rift between him and Vinicius. Vinicius has had a number of arguments or fallouts with the manager publicly. So these are things that you have to look at and say, yeah, I don't think he's really managing this team very well. So altogether, I think it's a crazy decision, but it's been made. And for Alonso now, he's free. But before I get to talking about where Alonso could probably go, let's talk about Álvaro Arbeloa. Now, I think this is also another interesting choice, because clearly they must trust him enough to make him the head coach, literally like minutes after they've gone to sack Alonso. So that means they must have been talking to him. And I even saw a comment about him, being potentially the next manager if things continue the way they were going. And that was back in December. So there have been signs, and at least like the rumors have been there, that if it was possible that if Alonso was going to go, Arbeloa was going to be the new manager. But ultimately, manager of Real Madrid Castilla, that's their B team, their reserves. going all the way to take over the job. I think that's a big choice. I think that's a very risky decision. I mean, when you look at Ancelotti, the manager before Alonso, you've seen his credentials, you've seen what he's done. He's a Champions League winner. He won it with them before. He had been the manager of AC Milan, Chelsea. Like he has had some really good jobs, like Bayern as well. You know, he's a big manager. We know his caliber. And when they brought in Alonso, it was like, okay, perfect fit. Former Madrid player, you're doing well in the Bundesliga. Literally took Bayer Leverkusen to an unbeaten season, which is insane. And he's also a really young manager, so you could see that he has a very high ceiling. But Arbeloa, it's an interesting one because he hasn't gotten a proper track record of a big team or a team that has been really successful. He's been managing their B team. So it means he kind of knows what's happening in the club. He knows the players. He knows the reserves especially. So he knows the kind of players he can bring into the team and, bring some magic. But ultimately, I think it's a really bold decision. Now, I'm not discrediting Arbeloa. He could end up doing a really good job because if you look at it, Real Madrid employed Zidane, and Zidane went on to win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. So let's be real, like things could happen. I'm not trying to say that Arbeloa is going to win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. It doesn't happen like that. It's not rice and beans. It's not that simple. It's not bread and butter. But I think they should give him a chance. I think we should give him a chance. At the end of the day, like the fact that they made this decision, it means they knew what they wanted and they've decided and they've gone for it. So we have to be fair to Arbeloa, give him time. But ultimately, I don't think there's going to be too many Madrid fans who think to themselves like this was a bright choice. Like, yeah, it's very shaky. It's scary. Like as a fan of a team that's seen different managers come over at different times, you're allowed to doubt, and I think Real Madrid fans could really doubt at this point. But more importantly, Xabi Alonso is now a free agent, and you know how things are. Many teams are looking for new managers. I mean, Chelsea have sorted theirs out, but Manchester United are looking for a new manager. I know right now they're looking for an interim manager. It's probably between Solskjaer and Carrick. Yesterday I said that Solskjaer looks like the front candidate, but now it's looking like it's Carrick. Like Carrick looks like he's the front runner right now, and he could end up getting that interim role. But Xabi Alonso is now free. That could be a really big option for them, and we have to see what Xabi wants to say about that. I don't think there's a world in which Man United will not try and look for Xabi Alonso. They know his credentials. They know what he can do. They know that he's a good manager. So I think they will try and get him. But as a Liverpool fan, I know it's confusing. I support 2 teams. But as a Liverpool fan, I don't want to see that. Xabi played for us. I don't want to see him as the manager of Manchester United. I really do not want to see that. And if that happens, then I will not be hoping for him to succeed there. Bad belle, as they may say in Nigeria, but is what it is. I do not want to see that. And, looking at it, Man City job could be open soon. Liverpool is looking shaky with Slot. Yes, he just, he's on a 10-game unbeaten streak, but still, anything could happen. And he's a free agent now, so there are clubs that are going to come and look for him. Like, I don't think there's anything too much to worry about Alonso. Like, I don't think he's had terrible jobs. I think this is his first job where it's literally the first job he has been sacked. But he was decent, in my opinion. Like, literally just lost to Barcelona in a Super Cup final, which is a big thing for Real Madrid. But second in La Liga, 4 points off with many more games to play. Literally half of the season to go, 4 points. Anything can happen, and they can each easily just like turn the tables and end up winning La Liga still. 7th in Champions League. He's not doing badly. So I think it was a big decision. I think maybe it must have been something else. Maybe it was not just... I don't think it's based on the results, but where they are, the kind of team they are, and the expectations they have. They want to be top of La Liga. They want to be top of the Champions League table. They want to be beating Barcelona in different competitions as well. So it looks like things are not looking bright, but you also have to be fair to him. There have been a lot of injuries as well. So I think Alonso is going to be fine. Will Arbeloa be fine? That's a good question. We shall see. But if you enjoyed this video, please share with a friend, and let me know in the comments what you think about this. Let me know who you think the next man... No, they've already decided who the next manager is. Let me know if you think Arbeloa is going to do well. I think I want to know what you guys think about that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.